Hello, nonprofit leaders. Sarah Olivieri here. And today I want to talk about burnout and especially how burnout is not just affecting you as a leader, but is actually impacting your entire team and overall hurting your organization. I think this is such an important topic because because it's true and because us heart-driven nonprofit leaders tend to try to push through burnout because we feel like it's selfish to do the self-care, to take the personal time. And we think that, it's actually hurting our organizations when we do that, when in fact the opposite is true. And I have seen this with my clients again and again as they start to really see and contextualize and visualize the impacts of burnout of themselves on their organizations, and then they see how it hurts their organizations, they begin to finally be able to change their ways. And the levels and depth at which it increases their ability to be a great leader and levels up their entire nonprofit are so profound. They're so profound that one of the ways I like to measure success is when I get a new client who's been struggling with burnout and has not taken a real vacation, like where they didn't take their laptop or anything, and that they were just totally off in way too long a time, and they finally take that first vacation. That's such an important milestone to me because I know that what follows that is an incredibly exciting period of growth. All right. So let's talk about how burnout in leadership leads to poor decisions. All right. So when we're burnt out, we have stress and strain in our brains. We're often trying to do too much, which we have what they call increased cognitive load. It actually reduces our IQ. And we can't even get to all the decisions, but the decisions we do get to, they're not as good. And when a leader starts making compromised decisions, the entire organization suffers. Your brain time as a nonprofit CEO is one of the most important parts of your job. And you need to prioritize doing everything you can to make sure that your thinking is on point and performing its best possible way so that you are making the best decisions possible. So, burnout, overwhelm, an overloaded plate, being overtired, working too many hours, not getting enough sleep, taking on too many projects, these all lead to a reduced IQ and poorer decisions. And poor leadership decisions lead to all sorts of negative consequences for our organization. Another thing I want you to think about is prioritizing mental health and your physical wellness as well. Often those two things comes hand in hand. You get stressed and then you get sick. And, maybe it's because you were exposed to that virus anyway, but you get more sick because you're stressed and your immune system isn't able to respond as well. What happens is over time, right now, you're not able to be as present. You're not able to lead as well. And you're going to lose that time being physically ill and needing to lie down, which is, if you are physically ill, you need to lie down. Same if you don't have your prime mental health. You need to prioritize that so that you can make great decisions. If you try to push through, it will bite back at least twice as hard in the long run. So remember that even though it might feel like you're taking a long time to rest, to recover, to focus on yourself, you will always get that time back many times over because you did that work. All right. So before we wrap up in our really short time together today, The last point I want to make is for the example you are setting for the rest of your team. So if you run a schedule and overload your plates so that you are burnt out, you're signaling to your team that that is the way to do it. And now the problems that you are creating for your organization around decision making and quality of your work are going to become problems across all of your team members. And that is going to compound the situation even more. So when you take rest, when you show good self-care, when you show good boundaries about how much you're realistically putting on your plate, you inspire and encourage and set the tone for the rest of your team to do the same. And when everybody does that, everybody performs at a higher level. More things get accomplished. Better decisions, working smarter, not harder, actually starts to come true. Often you hear work smarter, not harder, and that's great. But you can't work smarter until you are well rested and your brain is in a great space. So the first step in working smarter, not harder, is to actually just work less and relax and recover and take care of yourself. Once you have done that, you will actually be smarter. You will figure out better ways of accomplishing things. And then you will be in this positive cycle, and your entire team can be in this positive cycle of working smarter, accomplishing more, which leads to you getting more money, being able to do more because you have the right resources to do it. And it can be up and better from there. If you'd like tips like these in your inbox, email inbox, you can go to inspirednonprofitleadership.com, where I write a weekly, I call it a newsletter, but it's really just one topic, one tip per week, and a few extra resources. You can get that at inspirednonprofitleadership.com/sign up. Until next time, best wishes to everybody. I will see